Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. ESPN releases another horrible pound for pound list, at least in my opinion. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button, also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo, and the Patreon family. We are working. Now, ESPN just released their updated pound for pound list, and to me, it's at the point where they should just give up. Like, cover boxing, have boxing on your network, that stuff is good, but they have a team of people, multiple people, and maybe that's what's creating this pound for pound. They're doing some kind of voting system or whatever, but it's not a good look. When ESPN says fighter of the year, the same year Floyd knocked Pacquiao off of the pound per pound #1 list in that conversation by beating him, right? They gave fighter of the year to Ronda Rousey. Later that year, she got knocked out by Holly Holm. And then back to back, just all these pound for pound lists. What about, see, this, when I say this stuff, I'm always the bad guy. New media. I told y'all that we were going to come establish a new form of government to overthrow that bullshit y'all used to listening to. You know what I mean? Death Row East. And like I said, I'll be the bad guy. If that's what it is, if that's how it's perceived, fuck it. You know what I mean? Mama didn't raise no quitter. So it's just crazy. They did the ESPN best 25 in the last 25 years. They put Chocolatito. I think he was ahead of Miguel Cotto and Winky Wright. Yet Chocolatito, he moved up 3 pounds and got dealt with by Sor Rungvisai. It was controversial. Rungvisai came back throwing hellacious body shots. And not only did he beat see, this is what I look at too. Not only did he beat Chocolatito, I mean, anyone could get knocked out in the sport, but he dominated Chocolatito. I gave Chocolatito in the rematch of a guy you just went 12 with, I gave Chocolatito 0 rounds. That's, if you're pound for pound #1, that's almost unheard of. For example, Andre Ward, he was pound for pound #1 in a lot of people's eyes with Floyd retiring, right? So when he fought Kovalev, he moved up to Kovalev's weight class, and he got knocked down in the first fight and came back and fought a close fight. But he didn't get dominated in such a way where he lost every single round and got stopped. He did get knocked down. Same thing with Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, he got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez in the 4th fight, but they both traded knockdowns, and the momentum was actually swinging towards Pacquiao. So once again, he got knocked out, but he didn't get dominated. ESPN said Chocolatito was #1 just a short period of time ago, and he got dominated, lost every round, right? And then on top of that, he got knocked out, and it looked like he was crying on the canvas, like he's just so disappointed or whatever. But anyway, the current ESPN pound for pound list, let's take a look at it. They have Vasiliy Lomachenko at #1, #2 Gennady Golovkin, #3 Terence Crawford, 4 Canelo, 5 Keith Thurman, 6 Errol Spence, 7 Mikey Garcia, 8 Sergey Kovalev, 9 Nayao Inoue, right, and 10 Deontay Wilder. So you have a group of supposed to be professionals and journalists, and this is the list you guys come up with. Like, it just, it's not even like most pound for pound lists. It's not even just really the names. It's the order of the names. And I find it hilarious at this point that Americans, we go so far to not support other Americans in the sport of boxing. Like, it's like they're pushing the Eastern European, Kazakhstan, Russia. They're pushing that envelope so much to the point where you have a guy like Terence Crawford, 32-0, 23 knockouts, who's now moving to welterweight, just became undisputed, yet he's behind a guy in Gennady Golovkin who has a few more fights, but he, in his last 2 fights, his biggest, at age 35, his biggest competition, his biggest quote unquote step ups, meaning the best guys he's fought in his whole pro career, right, were Daniel Jacobs and Canelo, and he arguably lost to Jacobs, and he arguably lost to Canelo. Either way, even if you had him beating Canelo, the judges didn't, so they scored it a draw. Yet he's over Terence Crawford. Lomachenko is a phenomenal talent. Nobody is disputing that. He made Rigondeaux quit, but we're talking pound for pound. You took someone with similar experience, because you guys are both 2-time Olympic gold medalists, and he moved up 2 weight classes, and you being the younger, bigger person, right? You're 8 years younger, and you're noticeably bigger, like in terms of just taller size, and it's your weight class, and then you make him quit, and this gets you the #1 spot. Lomachenko has 1 belt in his division. You can say, oh, but people are ducking him, and whatever the case is, he has 1 belt. So once again, the order, Golovkin has every belt. Now I understand his Lomachenko, in my opinion, he has more overall skills than Golovkin. Golovkin is a skilled fighter with an amateur background, just like Lomachenko, but he has a silver medal. And I think Golovkin's, his energy or his style is more offensive skill than it would be all around skill like Lomachenko, right? But Terence Crawford in his last division had all the belts. And in his very first fight, it is reported that he's going to fight a powerful undefeated champion, a guy who we know has power, at least at the division, and beat Pacquiao, right? But I mean, we can't give him credit because Crawford hasn't fought him yet, but I'm just saying that's where he's running towards the fire. Terence Crawford is. But what we can give him credit for, what has already transpired: 32 fights. Most of his opponents at 140 got knocked out, except for Victor Postal, and he didn't get knocked out. But another Eastern European fighter, Victor Postal, got embarrassed. I was at the fight. He got knocked down a gang of times, two times or so, and he lost pretty much every round. And Crawford was undisputed. Lomachenko has 1 belt. So once again, it's like, this is what I'm talking about. People are setting the bar so high for Lomachenko, comparing him, saying he could beat Pretty Boy Floyd, saying he could beat Manny Pacquiao. I even had people on my page say he could beat Tommy Hearns at 54. You don't know shit about boxing. And the thing is, it kind of devastates and takes away from the talent that is Lomachenko, because he's not the one doing this, but ESPN, what is supposed to be a reputable boxing outlet, they're doing it. Their reporters, Dan Rayfield, he's doing it. Oh yeah, Pretty Boy Floyd will receive hell. So let me get this straight. Rigondeaux moving up 2 weight classes, who's been knocked down by lesser people. Floyd has never been knocked down like Rigondeaux's been knocked down by anyone. He's never got knocked down like Rigondeaux's got knocked down, right? And we're somehow making this comparison about Rigondeaux who's moving up 2 weight classes, when Floyd fought bigger guys, much bigger guys, the Cottos, Oscar De La Hoya, Maidana, Victor Ortiz, Canelo, right? Bigger guys, big punchers, through 5 weight classes, and he's never been knocked down like Rigondeaux. And he was established at 130 with some of his best performances. You know what I mean? He had the Gennaro Hernandez performance, Manfredi performance, Diego Chico Corrales, rest in peace, performance, right? But this is the propaganda, and this is what they're spewing. And like I said, it's just making it worse, because now people want to see Vasiliy Lomachenko prove it. And it's not through his own doing, but it's the people around him. Bob Arum comparing him to Muhammad Ali, ESPN rating him #1. Again, Golovkin has every belt in his division except for the winner of this Saturday's fight, David Lemieux versus Billy Joe Saunders. So how is he behind Golovkin? I mean, how is Golovkin behind Lomachenko with more fights? It's like we have to at least give people credit for what they've accomplished. You know what I mean? Golovkin has 3 times the amount of fights. He has more knockouts, and he's a unified champion in a division where I'm not going to say middleweight at the time when he was coming up was the greatest, but it doesn't take, he still has all of the belts except for the Billy Joe Saunders Lemieux winner belt, which is the WBO belt. Now, once again, Crawford also has 3 times the amount of fights, and an American fighter, and he was undisputed and is now moving up to welterweight. But listen, you got to look at the push here. Lomachenko's good, clean cut, making people quit. All that stuff is great. The best amateur record ever. I'm okay. See, this is the thing. This is the difference between me and them. New media and old media. I'm perfectly fine giving Lomachenko peace for what he deserves credit for. Like I said, if you say I foresee him going down as one of the greatest, but we have to wait and see, and you push for the matches that will put him in those conversations, then I have no problem with that. If you say he has one of the greatest amateur, if not the greatest amateur record ever, I'm okay with that, because that's already done. That's already in stone. He got the 2 gold medals from it. But when you start comparing him and disrespecting him to historic greats and putting him on the #1 pound for pound list, it's a prophecy, because until he does what Golovkin's done, until he does what Terence Crawford has done, become undisputed, he has 1 belt. This is a fact. Crawford had every single belt in his division, and he moved up. Crawford moved up. Crawford at 140, I believe that was his 2nd division, just like this is Lomachenko's 2nd division. The difference being Loma has 1 belt. Whether you want to say, oh, Tank Davis ducked him, or whatever you want to say, the fact remains he's on the #1 pound for pound list on ESPN's, according to them. And for whatever reason, he has 1 belt. And for me, I don't see how you can rate people in terms of a pound for pound based on something they have not yet accomplished. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's just like a student getting an A+ on a paper they haven't turned in. Now, do we all see the talent level of Lomachenko? Yes. Do we see skill in Lomachenko? Yes. But until he does what other historic greats have had to work for and show over time, from Roberto Duran to Sugar Ray Leonard to Hagler Hearns, Floyd, Pacquiao, Shane Mosley, whoever we revere as legends in this game, Ray Robinson, unless he's done those things, I don't see this constant placement of #1 when other guys have, at the moment, 3 times more fights. Golovkin's a unified champion with every belt -1. Terence Crawford has all the belts at 140, and the only reason he doesn't anymore is because he's running towards the fire to fight bigger guys and running up to a stacked division. You have Canelo Alvarez at #4, and he's younger than Lomachenko, more fights, but he has a better resume than Lomachenko. Lomachenko's resume is not bad for 11 fights, but it's not as good as Canelo. Canelo was supposed to lose to Golovkin, you know, Erislandy Lara and Mayweather. Name 3 opponents that Lomachenko has fought that's better than who Golovkin was at the time Canelo fought him, who Mayweather was at the time Canelo fought him, and who Erislandy Lara was at the time Canelo fought him. You know what I mean? And you're going to look silly trying to do that. You're going to say Nicholas Walters, coming off of a draw, had more momentum than Canelo when Mayweather fought him. You know what I mean? Or Golovkin when Canelo fought him. Crazy. And then it's just, this list is horrible. They have Deontay Wilder there, which is cool. You know what I mean? It's debatable, but some people would probably replace him with Anthony Joshua just because Joshua, and this is not really even Wilder's fault, but he doesn't have that marquee name because a lot of people we know, they keep quitting or failing drug tests, you know what I mean, before the fight can come off. And Joshua at least beat Klitschko, so you know what I mean, some people will find that debatable if Wilder's #10 over Joshua, you know what I mean. But other stuff, this is what I'm telling you with the propaganda. How the fuck, whether you want to put Wilder or Joshua on the list, how is Nayao Inoue, how is he #9 before Wilder? And he's not even a champion. Or he might be. I think he has does he have a belt at junior bantamweight? Either way, my point is, how does he have 14 fights? Wilder has 39-0 with 38 knockouts. Joshua's like 19-0 with 19 knockouts. Joshua has 2 belts. Wilder has 1 belt. And you're putting Nayao Inoue, who has 14-0, 12 knockouts. Someone I'm really checking for. But how is he #9? how it just does. This whole list, once again, Masuda, and it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. But once again, you see the people they want to push, people K2 and Top Rank and all the people with a great relationship with ESPN, you know what I mean, Golden Boy. Now all of a sudden their fighters are on there, and it just looks underhanded, to be honest. You know what I mean? That's cool they put Mikey Garcia on there. I think he's a top talent. This list can't be explained. But in closing, my question to you guys is this: Lomachenko is a talent, but in 11 fights with a loss, how can you put him before Golovkin, who has almost 4 times the amount of fights? He has 38 fights to Lomachenko's 11 fights, and he's never really even, he doesn't get hurt too often, and he has all the belts except for one, and he fought at least Daniel Jacobs and Canelo. You know what I mean? Same thing with Crawford. Crawford has 32 fights, moving up to a dangerous division, and he just was undisputed in his former division. So a person with 1 belt, how can you put him pound for pound unless it's a projection? You know what I mean? Based on pure accomplishment. And see, this is the problem. This is what I keep telling you, and this is why they're putting a lot of pressure. Because after fighting Rigondeaux and all of the hype and everything surrounding Lomachenko, no one's going to want to see him regress. So if you're not unifying at 130 or moving up to fight a guy you called out, Mikey Garcia, at 35, then people aren't really going to check for it. Like, they're putting so much effort and concerted energy to promoting Lomachenko. It's like now people don't want to see anything less. So if you're not going to fight a unification or move up and fight Mikey Garcia, the guy you called out, no one's trying to see another Miguel Mariaga. It's clear those guys can't beat you. You know what I mean? If a 2-time gold medalist can't move up and weight and make it competitive, then why would we want to see Miguel Mariaga? You know what I mean? And you already have experience. You have 403 amateur fights. You know what I'm saying? So it's just they're really stacking it against Lomachenko, because if you're saying right now he's #1 pound for pound, you have to explain that. And that's what ESPN should do. The whole group that voted for this, why don't you explain it? Explain how Lomachenko, what he's done right now, where you could put him above unified champions with almost 40 fights like Golovkin, above Terence Crawford, who has 32 fights and is moving to a dangerous division. You know what I mean? Golovkin, credit to him, his last couple fights, he's taken the dangerous fights and he hasn't shied away from it, and he's wanted the Canelo fight for a while. So how 50-50 the Canelo fight was, Canelo moved up in weight past 160, so he technically had experience because he fought Chavez Jr. there. So it wasn't his first fight. Rigondeaux didn't get that. Rigondeaux didn't take one fight at 134 and then have a fight with Lomachenko. He moved straight away, which is what he called for, which is what he said he wanted. But I'm just telling you the fact, he didn't acclimate or anything. So please explain how, in your opinion, if you agree with the ESPN list, what is it based off? How are we rating? Like when Floyd Mayweather's on the pound for pound list, it was based on what he had already done. It wasn't back when he was first turned pro and Jeff Mayweather brought him to Vegas. No one was saying he was pound for pound #1 then. You know what I mean? It was probably Roy Jones or somebody. So once again, if you agree with this, tell me what Lomachenko has done with 1 belt that places him over guys like Golovkin with nearly 40 fights and all the belts except for 1, and guys like Terence Crawford, who had all the belts and is moving to a dangerous division. So that's what I'm saying with the standard. They're stacking it against Lomachenko, because if Crawford can become undisputed and move up and fight a guy who's rugged, durable, and a power puncher in Jeff Horn, no matter how you rate for him, no matter how you rate him, he beat Pacquiao on paper. He beat Pacquiao. He's rugged, he's durable, and he has more experience, and he has power that has stopped Randall Bailey, hurt Pacquiao, and he's, you know what I mean, he's more proven at welterweight than Crawford is. But Lomachenko, again, I can't tell you who he's going to fight next, but is he going to take that same risk? Move up and fight Mikey Garcia, the guy you called out. Is Top Rank going to do that for him? You guys let me know how this works, how a person with 1 belt and less fights, a lot less fights, gets voted and placed at pound for pound number 1. But Golovkin, what's the point of having more fights? You know what I'm saying? Pro fights. If one person, and like I said, Golovkin fought dangerous people. You know what I mean? David Lemieux, that was, I would say on paper, somewhat dangerous, even though I've picked Golovkin to win. Daniel Jacobs, Canelo, I mean, he still faced those people. I don't even remember the last time Lomachenko was in a fight that was 50-50. You know what I mean? I guess you could say Rigondeaux, but he came 2 divisions under. Unlike Canelo, who's arguably bigger and weighing about what Golovkin was weighing on his 30-day weigh-ins with the WBC. Let me know your thoughts, drop in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.